Hey guys, I'm here with this video to talk about the winter solstice, the sun entering Capricorn, and the new moon on December 26th in Capricorn, which is also an annual solar eclipse. So there's a lot of energy right now. It can feel very intense. It can also feel very liberating. There's a lot going on. On December 21st into the 22nd, the sun moved into Capricorn, leaving Sagittarius, the fire sign of Sagittarius, moving into the more practical Earth sign of Capricorn, ruled by planet Saturn, which is all about restriction on one level, but also restriction that promotes growth later on. So it's by acknowledging that restriction and working with the limits and the structure that actually helps us to liberate and free ourselves ultimately, which is the point going into 2020. Now, the winter solstice takes place December 21st into the 22nd. It is the day of the year when the sunlight is the least amount of time. So the daytime is the shortest, and then the nighttime is actually the longest and the darkest. At least that's what it is like here. In Australia, it's actually the opposite. But so that's what it's like. And what happens is, spiritually speaking, it's a really good time for intention setting and for charting our course and things that we want to do moving forward into 2020, which is a 4-year, which is all about stability and foundations, where 2019 was more like wobbly and challenges. 2020 is going to be more about like solidifying and letting dust settle and implementing changes in a more grounded way. Right now, the winter solstice, the sun is in Capricorn. It's a great time for intention setting. Now, the sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and the South Node are all in not Mercury. The Sun, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and the South Node are all in Capricorn. So there's a lot of Capricorn energy, so there tends to be like a more sobering feeling to the energy, but at the same time, it's not sobering where it's like a depressing, although it can be because it's also the holiday season and things do come up, but it's more of like this sense of seriousness about getting real with what we want for our futures, for our growth, for our lives. Like that is what this time is calling us to do. It's very karmic in a lot of ways, and it can feel very fated and serendipitous, where it's like people coming in and out that have an impact, a very big impact, even if it's only for 5 seconds. It's the stranger you sit next to on the bus that says something to you that's like completely off the wall, but it changes your life and sets you on a different path or course. And you may never see that person again. Or it could be the opposite, where somebody says something to you that just like really triggers you and has you go, it gets you in a bad space, but that bad space brings you back to a better space. So, this is a time where a lot of fated encounters can and will be happening. It is up to you, up to us collectively to figure out what we want to do with that and how we want to work with that energy. But because this is such an important time of intention setting, because with the solstice, the daylight increases, even though the sun basically goes down at this time more quickly and it stays down longer and it's darker, what happens is it increases steadily until the summer solstice, which is June 21st. And so it is said that with that steady increase of vitality and light, also, our intentions that we plan and set now will increase along with that. So that's why this is considered a very significant and important time to set intentions and chart your course. Now, also with that, we have a new moon on December 26th, 12:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for some parts, it's going to be on the 25th, which is Christmas here. So on 12:25 for some parts of the world, but for us here on the East Coast, it's actually 12:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be a new moon in Capricorn. This is also a solar annual eclipse, okay? An annual solar eclipse. So what do eclipses do? Eclipses basically block the light for a certain amount of time. And then literally speaking, there's a ring around the fire, a ring around the sun, a ring of fire around the sun when we have this solar eclipse. Now, it's not going to be visible everywhere. It's only visible in some parts of Southeast Asia, India, Australia, Middle East, not here where I am. Unfortunately, we don't see it, but we do feel it. And so it is said that because it is such a deep and intense time where things that are normally eclipsed do come out into the light for us to reveal to ourselves what's been going on the deepest level. And because Pluto's involved and Saturn's involved and we've got Jupiter here, it can be extremely beneficial because Jupiter wants to promote growth. And this new moon solar eclipse is actually making a really nice aspect with the planet Jupiter. So that's very that's a good aspect for like expansion and growth and positivity and abundance and things showing up where and when we need them to, in the forms of people, projects, situations, relationships. It's like you can have this little dose of good luck. But because Saturn and Pluto are also present with this new moon solar eclipse, it's almost like you can have this, but you have to do this. And chances are you know what the this is, but it's just a matter of getting really serious about that. And this is the best time to work with that energy of what it is that you want, because the planets are truly supporting us all at this time to get real with ourselves and bring out what's been eclipsed. And it doesn't have to be anything ridiculously major. It'll be different for everybody. This is why I always say you want to look to your personal birth chart as well to see which area of your life, which house in your chart this eclipse is going to illuminate and reveal the shadow side, because that is what eclipses do. Like I said, they bring out what's been hidden, what's been eclipsed. Chances are you already know it, but it's just, it can't be hidden by the light any longer. It can't be hidden by the darkness any longer. It's going to be brought out into the light. It's going to be illuminated. And it isn't to hurt you, even though it may feel that way sometimes. It's actually to help you and set you on a specific path that you know on some level you need to be on. And it can feel very karmic, very fated, very like I've done this before, I've been down this road before, but it's different. And it's different because there's a certain element and sense of finality to it, because Pluto's involved. And anytime Pluto's involved, there's a sense of permanence and rebirth and transformation, and things will not ever be the same again. And it's up to what you do with this energy. It's up to how you work with it that changes everything. So this is about being really open and honest about your needs, your wants, your desires, your relationships, your projects, your job, everything. It's like up for review, and it's really up to how you are able to sit with that and trust your soul and what it's telling you. Because if you just, you can just not do anything. You can just go on and maybe you if you're watching this and you're like, well, I feel like everything's great. I don't really need anything to change. Good, that's awesome. But chances are, more than likely, there is one area of your life, if not more than one, where you're like, wow, I need something to shift. I need something to change. I need to do things differently. This isn't working for me like this. I need a new structure. I need new boundaries, whatever it is. Likely there is something, and you need to really explore that at this time, because this is an amazing time to do it as we go into 2020. It's a 4-year. It's a year of positivity and abundance and stability, but we have to do the work with Saturn and Pluto present, or we won't get that liberation that's so present right now. Speaking of which, with this new moon, there's a trine to Uranus, to the planet Uranus, and that is all about freedom and liberation. And it's a joyful time of year, mostly, with the holidays, but there's also this sense of wanting to do things differently. And that could be in the form of like, for example, if you always go to the same Christmas party every year, this year you want to shake it up and you don't want to go and you want to do something different, or you want to start your own traditions, or you just don't want to do things the same way. There's an element of like freedom and excitement and change and upheaval, but positive upheaval, and it could be coming in through the form of new people entering your life. With Jupiter here, there's expansion, there's growth, there's a sense of, with all of the Jupiter aspects right now, there's a sense of self-development, self-improvement. Jupiter is all about spirituality and self-reflection and involvement. So there's a sense of like wanting to really go deep, or at least feeling that way, wanting to really go deep and get to that bottom of the bottom layer here, and figure out what is there, what makes us tick, what do we want to change, what does 2020 look like for us, what is it that we want, what is it that we need, and being serious about that and setting your intentions. So I really hope that you use this time for the good that it is. It will feel energetically heavy at times. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, because it's Capricorn season. We've got a lot of Saturn energy happening. We've got a lot of Pluto. So there is an element of restriction and limitations and just feeling like a heaviness. But then at the same time, we've got Jupiter and Uranus that are like, we want to free you. We want to propel you forward. We want you to get to your destiny faster. We want you to live your best self. We want you to be your best self. And so there will be an element of fate and happenstance that's occurring also in the way in which we interact with others and with ourselves. But it's all about getting real first and acknowledging what that is, what that may be, and what we may need to shift or what may need to shift for us. And if we are not shifting it, it could very well be with an eclipse coming up that the universe steps in and gives you a situation in which you have no choice but to face whatever has been eclipsed. So I hope that this helps you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel by clicking on the bell below to be apprised of new videos. For the rest of December, I'm still offering my special 20% off of everything, all consultations, by using the code HOLIDAYS at checkout. And then for gift certificates, using the code GIFT. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter, lisasalvatore.com. Have a wonderful holiday to those that celebrate. Make sure that you set intentions. This is a really powerful time. I'm recording this on 12/22, and I plan to, as soon as I hop off here, I plan to do my intention setting for the winter solstice, because I have not done it yet, because I just haven't been in the headspace to do it, but now I am. So anyway, take good care of yourselves. I hope to be back soon with my 2020 January readings for each sign, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye.